What's going on, Island Hoppers? Today we're going to talk about things to know when you visit Colombia. Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's talk about things to do and places to see. So right now we're in Cartagena. This is a coastal Caribbean city, probably the most popular among the mainland attractions. If you wanted to go get a more Caribbean style island, you can go to San Andreas, which is actually closer to Nicaragua than it is to where we're at here in Colombia, but it's in the middle of the ocean. It's owned by Colombia. If you want a high altitude town, one of the most popular places they come to is Medellin, okay? Next to Medellin, you can go to El Pinol, which is the big rock, and Guatape. Now, if you go to Bogota, that's mostly for business people. So those are the main attractions that you'll find. There's a couple other places around, like Cali, you know, the famous Cali cartel. People like to go over there just to see what that place is like. But the places I just outlined there are the big four. All right, let's talk about the weather out here in Colombia. So most of the interior of Colombia, the big cities, Bogota, Medellin, gonna be up above 5,000 feet thereabouts. So you get this tropical climate, 74 degrees year round here in Medellin. But you can see right now it is raining. So when you come here, because it is so green, it's gonna rain a lot, make sure you bring clothes for the rain. That includes a rain jacket, but it doesn't get to the point where it snows because it's in the tropics. So the clothes you're gonna wear, yes, summer clothes, short sleeves shorts, but also a pair of pants and a rain jacket. In other words, it has rained in Medellin or in Colombia every single day I've been here. So with that being said, the dry season in South America, because it's the southern hemisphere, the summertime is going to be December and January. So that's when the dry season is if you want to try and get away from that Colombian rain that's going to be here. Let's talk about affordability in Colombia. I've now traveled to 5 different countries here in the last couple months, and I would say Colombia by far and away is the cheapest. Let me explain. If I wanted to go from Medellin to Cartagena, for example, the flights are $35 one way, okay? So cheap flights, hotel rooms, on average $65 a night, $70 a night to stay at the Hampton Inn Hilton or to stay at the 4 Points by Marriott. So those chain hotels that you usually pay $150 to $200 a night in America, here in Colombia, $65 to $85 a night. I found that to be really a great thing. Now they do have high-end hotels like the Marriott, like the main Marriott that goes for $150 a night, but I still found it to be very affordable. Today we just ate what I consider to be fine dining meal at an Italian restaurant. It cost a total of $22 for 2 meals. And that included the soda and chicken cordon bleu and another gourmet meal. So $22, that's usually what it costs just for 1 meal in the United States at a fine dining restaurant. So I don't know who's saying that Colombia isn't affordable. To me, that's crazy because this is a very affordable place. Even the tours we went on yesterday, these tours in the United States or in Hawaii or anywhere else would have cost $100 to $200. It cost $25 to do the tour. That included food. So here's something to know about Colombia. Bogota, the capital, is not the main tourist hub, but it is worth arriving in Bogota because major flights go into that international airport. Now, the main areas that tourists like to go are Medellin, Cali, or Cartagena. So those areas are where most of the tourism goes. Bogota is the industrial business capital of the country, as well as the governmental capital. But Medellin and the surrounding areas is really where most of the tourists go, or down to the coast in Cartagena. So that's something that you'll want to know if you're looking to fill out your itinerary for Colombia. Let's talk about the Colombian culture and the Colombian people. So there's a variety of different indigenous tribes that originated from here. The Carib people, you know, where the name Caribbean comes from, they're called the Carib. It's not Caribe. Then there's also the Terrano people, and there's several other tribes in the interior, in the Andes, as you go up towards Ecuador and Brazil. Now, there's also African people who came here on those ships. They were slaves originally, and now they are part of the Colombian culture just as much as anyone else. And you also have Spanish people from Europe who came over as well, who are also just a part of the Colombian culture And these three different ethnic origins make up the Colombian people. So you have the European, Spaniards, the Portuguese and that type of European, Africans, and then you also have the local indigenous people. Let's talk about safety in Colombia. You know, because of narcos and Pablo Escobar, people are scared to come here. Let me tell you something. If it was dangerous then, and I understand it was, it has changed a lot now. So I would say that walking around Medellin, Bogota was safe. Of course, you have to exercise caution in certain areas. But overall, my experience with Colombia is it is a safe place. For solo travelers, because I've seen many solo travelers, I've seen some couples, not many, but I think a lot of people associate Colombia with Pablo Escobar and the Cali cartel from in the 90s. And I can tell you things have changed a lot, and the Colombian people are not proud of the past with the Cali cartel and Pablo Escobar, but they are proud of the fact that the modern Colombia is a safe place. Look how beautiful Medellin is. I mean, it's so modern. It's like a jungle in a city. Very safe place. Now, because there are areas that are not necessarily the safest areas, you know, you will have people saying, watch your phone, especially in some communities. If you go into one of those communities, you can go on a tour with a tour guide who will help guide you through that. And those people can be easily found all across the country, tours, okay? So you can go online to book them. But if you want to just come to this country and stay safe, guaranteed, no problems, just book a tour. And, you know, some people like me, I used to be the guy who used to say, oh, I don't go on tours. And I used to be all proud about it. I actually like going on tours. You meet people and you get some additional insight into the country. It's a fun experience. You know, I went to Singapore. They say Singapore is a garden inside of a city, or a city inside of a garden. Medellin is an even more impressive garden inside of a city. But the whole city is tropical, and sometimes it feels like you're in the wilderness or in the jungle, as you can see right here. You go this way, same deal. It looks like a jungle right here in the middle of the downtown area of PABLO. Let's talk about street vendors. So when a street vendor comes up to you, whether they're singing at you or they're dancing or they're gonna give you a massage, whatever the case may be, they might say it's going to be free, but after time goes by, they're going to eventually try to get you on the hook for the service they just provided, even though they'll tell you that it was free. So this is mostly a thing in Cartagena. It's not so big in Medellin, although when you do go down to PABLO in Medellin, you will notice they have some more street performers than other places, or Comuna 13 possibly. Also in Bogota, they have a little bit different street performers like the llamas, which they don't have here in Cartagena. So as you go around Colombia, there's going to be different street vendors offering you services, but eventually they want money off you. So if you start talking to them, you're pretty close to getting to a point where you're going to have to pay them something, because they're going to keep hassling you until you give them money. Let's talk about transportation in Colombia. So one of the best ways to get around if you want to save money is Uber, but also for safety, Uber is better than a taxi in the sense that you pay less and you also get that record tracked, you know, who you rode with and all that. So it's documented with the Uber app. So I recommend Uber for getting around, although taxi cabs sometimes can be more convenient, because if you're waiting sometimes for 15 minutes for Uber, but there's a taxi right in front of you and you feel like you could trust the taxi driver, obviously you're going to just take that. So as a matter of convenience. Now when it comes to flying around, getting around, $35, $45 flights from Medellin to Cartagena, or Medellin to Bogota, or even going from Cartagena to San Andreas, the island, $45, $50. Now it obviously goes up from there depending on availability of the flights, but there's also boats to get around when you go from island to island. You can charter a boat, a private boat, or you can get on a catamaran. So that's the kind of transportation that you're going to have available. No trains that I've seen. You can also ride buses. So if you want to go from Cartagena to Barranquilla, you could also do that on a bus, although the roads getting around are a lot slower. One more thing, I do recommend taking tours. If you get a chance, go on a tour, whether you go to Guadatepe or one of the Santa Marta to the national park over there, wherever you go, try to get a tour, because that seems to be the best way to see the country. And a lot of the tours, all inclusive, food included as well. So that's good. So let's talk about one of the subjects that's a bit taboo here, Pablo Escobar. You know, a lot of people from the United States or other countries, they come here wanting to talk about it or see a tour or see where he used to live. But actually in Colombia, they do not appreciate what he did or what he stood for. So it's a bit of a controversy. So when you come here, try not to take too much of an interest in that, even though there are tours that like to talk about it or show you around. But at the end of the day, it is taboo, it's controversial. The Colombian people are not proud of that history, even though Netflix makes series like Narcos and you know, there's plenty of movies that have been made about his life. Colombian, they want to move on beyond that, okay? Colombians want to be known for the beauty of the country, the safety, and they want you to feel safe when you're here. They don't want you to feel scared or worried about narcos or cartels. That's really what they stand for, a safe, family-friendly kind of place. All right, guys, that's going to conclude this episode of Things to Know about visiting Colombia. Hopefully you guys enjoy this trip. Overall, I would say come on down to Colombia, check it out. Great place to be. I really enjoyed Medellin. That was probably my favorite. Cartagena is a nice place as well. Bogota, more of a business center. I hope to go around more of Colombia the next time I come here. So hope see you guys down here. Enjoy.